Zoom meeting of the Bethel Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm going to go through the agenda and read our legal notice, our public legal notice. And then we got to seat a member. We'll go over the members and who we're going to seat. And then we'll get into the actual public hearing. So our agenda is Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting agenda for May 19th, 2020, 7 p.m. It's a web-based meeting by Zoom, and the URL was posted with the meeting ID of 851-8495-7818. You can join the meeting either by telephone or by device, mobile device or computer. All the documents, including written testimony and applications materials, must be submitted electronically to the Land Use Department staff at least 24 hours in advance of each regular meeting. We're going to have a public hearing of Codfish and DeMarco LLC. After the public hearing, this is for 29 Benedict Road. After the public hearing, we'll go into a work session. So during the public hearing, the public will be invited to speak. We'll get to everybody. Once the public hearing is over, everyone's welcome to stay and watch, but there will be no more comments from the public. We will go into our work session, and most likely we'll come up with a decision tonight regarding 29 Benedict Road. Once the work session is over, we go into our business meeting where we discuss new business, and then I guess we don't have any bills. We have to approve minutes from our previous meeting, and then we will adjourn. And with all that said, I will read the legal notice once I find it. I have a lot of papers here.
I have it, Rick, if you want me to go forward.
Please do.
The Bethel Zoning Board of Appeals will hold the public hearing on May 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m. using the virtual platform Zoom to hear the application of Codfish and DeMarco LLC, 29 Benedict Road, for a variance of section 3.2C, 3.2CA, and 3.2CE rear lot area and accessory requirements in an R20 zone of the Town of Bethel zoning regulations. Property can be found in the tax assessor's office as map 60, block 92, lot 70. Public may send comments via regular mail or email to landuse@bethelct.gov. At this hearing, interested persons will be heard. Written communication will be received, and plans are available for perusal in the land use office, 1 School Street, Bethel, Connecticut. Copy of the application can be viewed here. There's a drive where the application was, dated this 9th day of May at Bethel, Connecticut. Richard Lawler, Chairman.
Thank you, Beth. Okay. We have 5 members tonight. Myself, my name is Richard Lawler. I'm the chairman. Jay, why don't you officially recuse yourself, Jay?
He's on mute already. Excuse me. Hold on 1 second.
Let's unmute Jay.
Okay, Jay.
Okay, I'm going to recuse myself.
And
Okay.
you are, please identify yourself.
Jay Streeman.
Thank you.
Okay, so Melanie Ryan?
Yep.
Okay, you're here. Eileen Freeburn is present.
I'm here.
Bobby Joe Beers is present. And Stephen Ippolito. We are going to seat you for Jay.
Okay.
Okay. At this time, I'm going to read the staff report. Nancy, do you have the staff report? Usually,
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't have it with me. Otherwise, I would read it.
I'll read it.
Thank you.
This is to Rick Lawler, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals and members. from Beth Cavagna, Planning and Zoning Official. Staff report, Zoning Board of Appeals hearing on May 19th, 2020. Public hearings, new public hearings, 29 Benedict Road, a special permit rear lot requirements. The applicant is proposing variances of a rear lot requirements pertaining to a 6.991 acre parcel containing a single-family home to create a total of 4 single-family building lots in an R20 or half-acre zone, of which 2.803 is proposed as open space. The 2 proposed rear lots do not meet the area requirements, nor are located within the 1 or 2 acre zones or between 2 conforming lots. It should be noted that this area is serviced by sewer and water. One of the reasons for the large area requirements in the R40 and R80 zones, which are serviced by septic and well. Staff has enclosed a copy of the regulations pertaining to the variances and a sample diagram showing a rear lot under conforming conditions. Over the last 6 months, staff has reviewed several configurations of the proposed development, which the applicant will review this evening. The proposed examples would not require variances, would increase the unit count to 7, and create a more intensely developed parcel with greater impervious area, less open space, and a wetlands crossing along with a road. The property is serviced by sewer and water, located in a medium density zone and shown on the buildable units plan within the 2020 Plan of Conservation and Development. The board should review the existing topography with consideration to the proposed potential protection of the wetlands area. Okay, so that is the staff report. And then I also have some letters from the public, which I will read into the record. Okay, this looks like it was an email from Rick Ferreira. Good morning. I received a notice of public hearing on a zoning application. This application involves 29 Benedict Road, and due to the pandemic, will be held via a Zoom meeting May 19th at 7 p.m. As a resident who borders this property, I ask that this application be tabled to at least till June 30th or until an actual true public hearing can be held. I do not feel that this is such a pressing matter that it cannot be held off till a proper public hearing be held for the residents to voice their concerns in a true forum. Thank you, Rick Ferreira. And we have a letter from Gary and Janet Caggianello of 21 Colonial Drive. Dear Mr. Lawler, we have been made aware of Codfish DeMarco LLC's application for variance regarding 29 Benedict Road and the public hearing scheduled for Tuesday, May 19th. This letter is to let you know we support the plans on file and application for variance, and as they stand, according to the letter sent to us on May 4th by Peter Olson. Sincerely, Gary and Janet Caggianello. I have a letter from Millie Tortora of 17 Colonial Drive. Mr. Lawler, I had the opportunity to review the plans for the development in our neighborhood, which will be built near our home on Colonial Drive. I believe it will be an appropriate addition and would complete the area. I have no objections to the construction of these homes and support the construction for this location. Respectfully, Millie F. Tortora. And then this is a letter from Roger Young of 15 Colonial Drive. Dear Sirs, it has been brought to our attention a proposed site plan alternate for the development of property located at 29 Benedict Road, Bethel, Connecticut. This proposed site plan alternate appears to show a good balance between reasonable housing development and the protection of wetlands and the minimal impact upon adjacent properties. We have had the building department come out several times in the past when the end of Colonial Drive was being developed to address flooding problems on our property. With extra constructed drainage outfalls, this seems to have contained the amount of water coming from the hill, homes and town storm drains behind us and adjacent properties down gradient from the land parcel. If this land parcel is developed more densely, it has the potential to affect storm and groundwater inputs and could impact our properties again, which we do not want. Additionally, this site plan alternate drawing show no impact to the end cul-de-sac of Colonial Drive, which is very prudent. If this road was to enter the property and impact the wetlands and potentially change the traffic load of our street, this would affect the value and assessment of our homes negatively and result in less tax revenue for the town. As a certified environmental health and safety professional, I believe this proposed site plan alternate for the development of 29 Benedict Road presents a reasonable development plan for approval. The plan shows the least impact upon the natural resources and adjacent properties. My wife and I request that you approve this proposed site plan for development of the property. Thank you. Yours truly, Roger L. Young. No, that's all I have for correspondence to our commission as of this morning. Did anything else come in you know of, Beth? I don't think anything else came in.
No, we haven't received any other correspondence. I'm sorry, Rick.
Okay. All right. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to Codfish and DeMarco LLC.
Good evening. Thank you, Rick. My name is Peter Olson. I'm an attorney with an office here in Bethel at 275 Greenwood Avenue. My firm name is Land Use and Conservation Counsel. I'm here tonight on behalf of Chestnut and DeMarco LLC, who are the applicant and the property owner, and they are represented tonight by Jeff Bruno and Steve DeMarco, who were both on the last time I had this in grid view. So hopefully they can wave at you and say hello. They're here to answer any questions that we may have for them.
Excuse me, Peter, what I'll do is I'll unmute them during your presentation just to let them know that, okay?
Okay, thank you. So Codfish and DeMarco LLC purchased the property in late 2019. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay.
Please do.
So the map that I just put up on the screen is a preliminary map that has been submitted for review by the zoning department to take a first cut for the existing house on the property. So the property contains about 6.4 acres, and it's located in the R20 zone, which is a zone that requires 20,000 square feet per lot, a little less than a half an acre. It was improved when we purchased it with an existing home, and the lot configuration has existed back to at least 1948. So it's entitled for what we call a free cut or a first division or a first cut without subdivision approval. And we have actually sold that parcel, and we're about to go into contract for it. So you can see that in the upper left-hand corner, the existing house is being set off on its own lot, and that isn't anything that we're asking you to review tonight. Codfish and DeMarco purchased the property with the intention of developing the balance of it. And we've gone back and forth and looked at a number of different configurations, ranging from a multifamily development to a subdivision with a road, and then down to the current plan where we only have lots that can be accessed off of Benedict Road. Just to be clear with you, the variances plural that we're asking for tonight are only the first step in this process. If you grant those variances, we'll then have to make an application to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a subdivision of the rest of the lot. We only get to take one lot out as a free cut. So I'll start with the plan that we've put before you as our proposed plan, which is to divide the balance of the property into 4 lots. You can see the first cut lot as proposed parcel A in the upper left-hand corner here. That's not counted in the 4 lots that we're talking about. So at the end, there'll be 5 lots total. We have 2 proposed lots that have frontage on Benedict Road. Neither of these lots requires any variances at all. The other 2 lots, we have a proposed lot 3 that's about a half an acre. It has an access way serving it out to Benedict Road. And we have a proposed lot 4 that's about 80,000 square feet, 60,000 square feet. It's very small. I don't want to zoom in. And that lot is also served by an access way out to Benedict Road. Both lots 3 and lots 4 would be what we are calling rear lots and what the zoning regulations calls rear lots. And it's for these 2 lots that we're asking for the variances. In the rear of the property, the balance of it would be dedicated as open space, about 2.8 acres. Physical highlights, you can see this wetland system in the rear of the property behind lot 4. It goes across the entire property. And the wetland system right here that is going to be on partially on 1, 2, and 4 also presents development constraints. I'm going to go down to what we first looked at in terms of a subdivision of the property. Again, you can see the free cut lot with the existing house in the top left. Lots 1 and 2 are basically the same, in the same position. And there would be a new road constructed into the property. And then off of that road, we would serve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses. At the end of the day, we felt that the wetlands provided a significant constraint to this development, such that it really was not a desirable development alternative for us. But we spent a lot of time working this out. It would have also required this wetlands crossing right here to get to the rear 2 lots with a shared driveway. We then eliminated the road, and this is an engineering drawing, not a survey drawing, but you can see it's very similar to the proposal that we've put forth to you tonight, except that lot 4 was divided into 2 lots. And this house here on lot 5 would have been served by Colonial Drive, but would have been very impacted by these wetlands in the backyard. So at the end of the day, we felt that the development proposal that we arrived on at the end, which eliminated that 5th lot, eliminated all the access from Colonial Drive, and just brought lots 3 and 4 straight in from Benedict, was the most desirable development for the property. As I've noted, one of the most significant limiting factors is the location of the wetlands. This wetland system right here means that the driveways for the rear lots cannot be brought out to Benedict in, between that wetlands and Benedict, where lots 1 and 2 are. So the only place they can be is essentially north of those wetlands, which puts that in this location right here. We felt at the end it was better to have 2 adjacent driveways rather than splitting the driveways, so that we ran one along the property line and one in the middle. Just do it in one place. That would allow us to do a common driveway if it's desirable to do so. The other limiting factor for the wetlands, again, this wetland system crosses the entire property. So it makes the most sense to simply draw the property line right across it and dedicate that as part of the open space. The other limiting factor that we have is the frontage requirement for the zone. It requires 140 feet. And as you can see, simple math, we don't have enough for more than 3 lots with frontage of 140 feet. And that led us to considering these as rear lots, lots 3 and lot 4. I don't know if you have the plans in front of you. I can zoom in on the actual variances that we are asking for. Just take me a moment to get there. Okay. I hope that did that, but so in the corner of the map, we note 3 variances that are required. The first is a variance. These are all part of section 3.2C of the zoning regulations. And we asked a variance to that section just to permit rear lots in an R20 zone by special permit. The zoning regulations allow rear lots in the R40 and R80 zone. That's noted, that's principally because of the sewer and water, septic and water requirements. You need enough lot area to have a septic system and a well. We are served by sewer. So we don't have that same need for the lots. And that's why we believe it's appropriate to allow rear lots in this circumstance in an R20 zone. As noted, we'll have to apply for a special permit with our subdivision for that to be allowed by Planning and Zoning Commission. The second requirement is to reduce the minimum lot size required for a rear lot for lot 3. One of the things the rear lots requirements in the zones require is that the rear lot be double the size of the minimum required for the zone. So that would require 40,000 square feet, an acre, instead of 20,000 square feet. Our lot 3 is 21,679. So obviously we're not meeting 40,000 square feet. Lot 4 does meet this requirement. It is well in excess. And if I can go back to that map, 1 minute. This lot 4 goes across the entire property. Between lot 3 and lot 4, we have enough square footage that both lots could meet the double lot requirement. So theoretically, we could take 20,000 feet from lot 4 and give it to lot 3, and then both lots would comply. But the reason we can't do that is this wetland system right here. So if we took this northern part and made it part of lot 3, there isn't really a great place to put a house on lot 4 without being impacted by this wetland system. Similarly, we could add square footage to lot 4 by taking away from the open space. Again, we felt the line that we were drawing on the edge of the wetland boundary was really the best way to handle that. This is one of those situations where we can do a complying plan. We're asking for a variance because of these physical constraints of the wetlands, make it a better plan to allow lot 3 to be developed with only a half an acre. The last variance that we're asking for is to allow 2 access ways to be located between 2 other lots that comply with the minimum lot frontage. We actually have those 2 lots complying with the minimum lot frontage and the 2 access ways. I don't necessarily read the zoning regulations as requiring or limiting the number of adjacent driveways to 1, but we decided to ask for the variance just to be extremely clear that we were allowed to have 2 between 2 lots that comply. I do want to note one housekeeping matter. In variance number 2 and variance number 3, there's a number 2 omitted from between C and E and C and A, but the text spells out the exact variance that we're looking for, which is clearly section 32C 2A, 32C 2E. Obviously, your standard is whether or not there is a hardship that applies. That is different from other lots in the zone. We believe that the 2 hardships that apply are, believe it or not, even though it's a rectangularly shaped lot, that it is an unusually shaped lot. And that is because it is much deeper than it is wide. And that puts all of the usable land in an area where the use of it for anything other than a rear lot makes it very difficult. Second, the wetlands present a physical constraint that if they were not there, we wouldn't have anywhere near as many problems laying out the lots in accordance with the zoning regulations precisely.
You have anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just checking my notes, I'm sorry.
Take your time.
So We do believe that the variance argument is very strong, but we do want to emphasize as well that this subdivision plan with a road can be built without any variances. And so that would allow us to add 6 new houses plus the 7th there, 7 houses instead of 5. However, we think that the property layout is much more efficient and preserves much more open space, which provides a better amenity for the neighborhood if we go with the plan that we presented to you tonight, which is simply the 4 lot. To do that, to implement that, we need the variances of the 3 rear lot sections that we identified. So that's all that I have. I'm happy to answer any questions and reserve the right to rebut any comments. Thank you.
Okay, would your clients like to say anything at this time?
I don't have anything at this time. Thanks.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right, at this point, before we get into commission questions, we'll invite the public to speak. So who from the public would like to speak? And if I call on you, we'll unmute your phone and we'll unmute your block, and we ask that you state your name and your address for the record. So I see a gentleman named Rick. Would you like to speak?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I have no problem with the proposed lots 1 and 2. I'm sorry.
Rick, your full name and
Ferreira.
address.
Rick Ferreira, 30 Benedict, directly across the street.
Okay.
I have no problem with the proposed lots 1 and 2. None whatsoever. Lots 3 and 4, I think you're going to make it too dense, too much housing in one area. You're also going to be adding more burden to the school system because each one of these homes are going to probably house 2 or 3 kids once it's built out, and we already have problems with enrollment as it is. I don't like messing with the wetlands. There's a lot of wildlife that is back there and relies on it. I'm totally against this, and I would like to have this tabled till we can have a proper form, and also like to have this tabled until we can get an accurate map. The map is not accurate. It's showing Foxden Road where Chimney Drive is. So with that, I turn it back to you.
Okay, well, the meeting is a public meeting and it is going to continue. The town of Bethel is open for business, and these forums have been working. Obviously, none of us are thrilled with the idea of Zoom meetings, but the town is open for business and we have business to conduct, and it wouldn't be fair to the applicants if we put this off for several more months, because we can certainly conduct business in this forum. So
I think you would get, excuse me, I feel you would get more public input if it was tabled at a later time where we could have a true public forum.
well, you know what?
Mr. Chairman, could I intercede just for a moment? As far as doing Zoom meetings and public hearings and being there in person, we won't be doing that. I will tell you that we've scheduled hearings probably through the month of August. We probably will not be doing that till the fall sometime, and that would be very hopefully. And attendance, we have had very good attendance through several of the Zoom meetings we have. And the whole point is to keep everyone safe. You as a property owner, the commission members, and anyone that wants to appear before the board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ferreira. Who else from the public would like to speak? I have you identified as Kathy.
My husband, Sproul Braden, Kathy and Sproul Braden, 20
Okay.
Colonial Drive.
Okay.
Right, so just as background, we're both in the construction and design industry, and we have lived in this location for close to 20 plus years. And we think this is a very thoughtful and well-balanced development. Certainly 4 houses instead of 7, and building a road back there, which would totally disturb the wetlands. We're 100% in favor of this proposal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I believe Mr. Gambino.
Mr.
wanted to
Gambino?
speak at the beginning of the meeting. Let me unmute that particular line. Mr. Gambino? He may have put himself on mute.
Yeah, maybe. How about if they can turn their video back on it?
Oh, mute
For
is off.
everyone in
I
session.
think I'm unmuted now. Let's start again. Alan Gambino,
There you
28.
go, sir.
All right. So, I heard Kathy and Spruill's comments, and I heard Rick's, and I'm concerned about the environment also. Could you just let us know, what type of houses and the size that you're going to be building there? Is that acceptable to ask that kind of question?
Sure. So, Mr. Olson, can you answer that?
Do you want me to answer now or wait till all the public is done?
Let's wait till the public's done, Rick.
Okay. We'll wait. Any other
I
questions?
mean, I think it's well thought out. I mean, I do have concerns about the environment and the wetlands, but I mean, the lot 1 and 2 are a foregone conclusion. I mean, I think looking at two nice houses as opposed to the property that's there that's unmanageable would be nice across the street. So, I think 4 versus 7 is a nice idea. So I'm just curious as what kind of houses are going to be put in there. That's all.
Okay, we'll come back to
And-
that.
Mr. Gambino, this is Nancy Lobalbo. I'm the recording secretary. Can you
Yes,
state
ma'am.
your address again, please?
Sure. It's 28 Benedict Road.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Legnar, do you have something you want to ask?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the public? Okay, so we'll now get into, you want to answer that question now, Mr. Olson?
Sure, I have a couple of responses. Let me have Jeff Bruno do a discussion of the types of houses he envisions building here.
All right, wait a minute. Let me find. Okay, Jeff, you're good. And I'll unmute Steve too.
Jeff Bruno from Codfish and DeMarco. Somewhere around 2,000 square foot houses, nothing big and crazy. And 3 to 4 bedrooms. Exact architecture still remains to be seen, but that type of house.
Thanks, Jeff. Let me share my screen again to respond to a couple other comments. So in terms of the road identification, is right here is where it says Foxton Road, and Mr. Ferrer's right, that should say Chimney Drive. I went and checked the Google Maps, which is here, and Chimney Drive, yes, that's correct. We can fix that in our next applications, not a problem. In terms of density, right now we're talking about 1 house on 6.5 acres. We will end up with 5 houses on 6.5 acres, which is a little less than 1.2 acres per home. As you can see from the Google Maps, these are the assessor's maps. All of these boxes represent half-acre lots all the way around. I mean, there are a few that are slightly bigger, but that's the entire neighborhood. That's why it's zoned R20. Minimum lot size in the zone is 20,000 square feet. We're going to end up, almost 50 or 60,000 square feet per lot on average. So it will not be any denser than the surrounding area. In terms of the wetlands, we obviously we need to make an application to the Wetlands Commission for activities on probably all 4 lots. They're going to review it just simply because we're making a subdivision application with land that has wetlands. But I would imagine that all 4 lots are going to have activities that are within 100 feet of the wetlands, and we'll get approvals for those or ask for approvals for those. But we have no intention to go in any of the wetlands with any of the work. That's part of the reason we're here, is so that we don't have to impact on those wetlands. So yes, the Wetlands Commission will be looking at it, as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission in future applications, but we can't get there if we don't have a variance application. I think that's it.
Okay. We'll go into commission questions. Well, Melanie, any questions?
Yep, I do. I have a question about the section, the specific
section for Peter. So
Yeah.
when you say you want a variance in order to permit rear lots, when I'm looking at the zoning regulations, for the first one, section C, it's 3(2)C, and then there's a 1 and a 2. Are you just asking for a variance of section 2 and section 1 where it says it requires a front and side screen and landscaped buffer? You're not asking for a variance of that?
No, so we sort of have a general request and the more specific request. The general request is for 3(2)C in general, because it doesn't allow rear lots in an R20 zone. And so I didn't think that was an appropriate request to vary any particular section other than the you need a special permit section. So that's a very broad request for that piece of it. The other two pieces are specifically the requirement for minimum lot size in A and the 2 driveways between 2 lots in E. But we are not asking for a variance of any other section. We're gonna have to comply with those.
Right, but section 3.2.C.2 is the one that's titled rear lot.
Correct.
But then there's a section 3.2.C.1 that says it's like
We're not
dated.
asking for a variance of 1, no.
Okay.
Any other questions, Melanie?
Nope.
Okay. Eileen,
I don't have any questions.
okay. Bobby Joe,
I mean, I think you've pretty much answered most of my questions, but so I just want to clarify. If you had chosen to go the route of a subdivision with the 7 lots, you would not have needed to come to ZBA, correct?
That's correct. The
Okay.
subdivision plan is fully compliant.
And so with that, you would have had to have just gone in front of wetlands and planning and zoning and then wetlands, correct?
Correct. Just to be clear, the current plan is still a subdivision. It's the subdivision with road.
Right.
And 6 additional lots. That would need wetlands and planning and zoning, but would not need any variances, correct?
And then your other plan would also not have needed ZBA compliance, but it would have gone off of Colonial Drive. You would have had to have added a driveway at the end of Colonial, correct?
We would still need ZBA approval for that plan as well, for almost the same things we're asking you for now, except that lot 4 would have been smaller. So we would need a variance of that. And I think there were 2 other variances that we were going to need to make that work. This plan was simpler in that we only needed the 3 variances. But yes, lot 5 would have come in off of Colonial Drive.
And the open space, how does that work? Does that stay with the current property owner and it just is deemed open space?
No, we would have to convey that to either the town or to a conservation organization.
Okay.
I
That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's any directly adjacent to this, but there is other land in the vicinity that's owned by, various different organizations, including the town. So that's a to be determined based on the most appropriate destination for it, but not us.
Can I just speak in reference to the open space for a minute, Rick?
Please.
By this lot configuration, I believe the open space was at least doubled. I don't have the old drawing in front of me from the original proposed subdivision, but it's a large, very substantial amount of open space considering what was originally proposed for the town, or could be proposed.
It's 2.8 acres out of 6.4.
Correct.
So almost half. And the original was 0.65.
Less than an acre.
The requirement is 10%, so.
Correct.
Okay. And then this is kind of a silly question, and maybe I should know the answer to this, but I don't, so I'm going to ask it anyway. Maybe if you were to just go with lot 1 and 2, I know those aren't the lots in question, but say it doesn't get granted, so you can't subdivide. into the 4 existing lots. 1 and 2 obviously would just, probably go all the way to the back. You would still subdivide. In the future, could 1 and 2 then be subdivided again? The
No.
way you did
One
this,
and-
even if they sold it, say they sold the lots, would a new buyer be able to come in and then subdivide the back?
So it entirely depends on the lot configuration. Let's say we left lot 1 exactly as is and lot 2 got the rest of the land. A future purchaser could very well come in and ask for the exact same things we're asking for.
Mhm.
What we would
Or
do,
they could put, so if you divided 1 and left 2 as a big as a big piece of property, these guys could sell that second lot with 5 acres or whatever it is, and somebody could come in there and then essentially try to subdivide it either as a multifamily or pull some.
yes,
I'll
Yes.
say it if you do.
Yes.
The area is served by sewer and water.
Okay. Okay.
So multifamily could be a possibility, yes.
Okay.
the 4-lot plan that we are proposing forecloses that. It's just, I won't say impossible, but it's very difficult to do. If the variances weren't granted, we wouldn't do what you're suggesting, though. We would make the application to planning and zoning for the 7 lots with a road.
Okay.
Any more questions, Bobby Joe?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Stephen, you're up.
Yeah, just one question. Bobby Joe had my other one. Mr. Olson, could you confirm, you mentioned, I think in the construction phase, there is activities around the wetlands between lots 1, 2, and 4 during construction and post-construction. How is that wetland area impacted? Just clarify that for me, please.
Well, I don't know specifically because we haven't completed the design for that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that it's likely that whatever design we have, we're going to have to do, tree removal, grading, septic, a sewer connection, water, a lawn, a driveway. A bunch of that is going to be within 100 feet of the wetlands, which is what triggers an application. Those are called regulated activities. And Wetlands Commission will review it and make sure what we're doing is appropriate. And they will make us do various protective measures like silt fences and things like that will make sure the wetlands are protected during construction.
So that area in place on the map, that's not, the area around that would be protected, and the area itself, there's nothing happening on that actual call out in the drawing?
Yeah, if you look at the drawing, the shaded area, those are the actual wetlands. The wetlands boundaries are there.
Okay.
And as I said, we don't have any plans for any activities within those wetlands. But we still need a permit if we're going to do any activities within 100 feet of the wetlands. And those activities are allowed. That's not a buffer zone. You can go in there, but the Wetlands Commission gets a chance to review it and protect the wetlands and make sure everything we're doing is appropriate. So that's how that's handled.
Can I jump in? Yeah, Jeff Bruno, Codfish, DeMarco. As you can see where the houses are placed, they're away from the wetlands. That it was specifically designed to stay away from the wetlands, so we don't have to touch the wetlands. The one that had the lot off of Colonial Drive, that's why we got rid of it, because it was so close to the wetlands. So we are particularly sensitive to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Stephen, any other questions?
Nope, that's all for me.
Okay, so Mr. Olson, the fact that the water and sewer line runs down Benedict Road made a huge difference in this application. Would you not agree with that?
Yes. I mean, it could be developed with septic and wells, but.
Right. And then I think it's a very responsible plan. You've gone to 4 houses versus 5 or 6. The open space is very remarkable. Lots of open space, protecting the wetlands, wildlife. That's all good to see. There's no plan, you may have said this, but there's no plan to connect Colonial Drive to this, right?
Well, Colonial Drive directly abuts it.
But there's not going to be a road or driveway.
No. Let me rephrase that. We aren't going to propose any road or driveway.
Okay.
What the property owner who buys the house and does later on isn't within our control. Planning and zoning can presumably control that with a restriction on approval. I would point out that the end of Colonial Drive does abut the open space.
Okay.
So
And then that's my last question. Who takes ownership of the open space?
well, my answer was a little vague because I don't know the answer, and I used to know the answer better, but recent approvals that I've gotten have thrown my certainty into uncertainty. So I have no idea what the Planning and Zoning Commission will decide as to the appropriate entity. My guess would be either the town or the Bethel Land Trust, or there's other land in the general vicinity that's owned by other entities. So not us, I think, is the answer. Beth may know the answer more than me.
So the plan is to make sure it's deeded as permanent open space by whoever
Yeah.
possession.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and it used to be we would just say we're going to deed it to the town, and that was it.
Yeah.
The town in recent years has been reluctant to take open space.
Okay.
I can't explain why, it just has. So if it's not the town, it'll be the land trust or whatever other organizations are over there that own land in the vicinity that can protect it as conservation land. We certainly don't want our buyers to have to pay taxes on it, I think is the bottom line. So.
Okay, before we move on, any other commission questions? Anyone else have a question on the commission? Okay. Any other public comments?
Let's see. It went to Rick. Rick, do you have any?
I guess we're good.
Okay. Mr. Legnard, Mr. Gambino?
It seems like a very responsible plan. Actually, Bobby Joe asked the question about the subdivision afterwards, if somebody could do anything else. And once the 4 lots are done, well, I guess somebody could take one of them and do something, but aside from that, it looks okay.
Whoops.
Okay.
Let me go back to him for a minute. I cut him off too quick.
Mr. Gambino, were you done?
I keep losing him.
Yeah. I think he was done. We'll give him another shot.
No, I wasn't done, but I keep getting muted, so.
Okay, there you are. Go ahead.
I said, I'm not sure where I got stopped, but Bobby Joe had asked about anybody further being able to do anything with the property once the 4 houses are done. That answered my question. And obviously having some developed houses across the street from Rick and I, although I'm concerned about the wildlife, will probably make the street look better. So thank you.
Okay. Mr. Legnard?
Good.
You're good? Okay. All right, Mr. Olson, any final words before we close the public hearing?
Nothing. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. So the public hearing is now closed. And with that, we'll get into our work session.
Thanks for your time, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll talk about it amongst ourselves. Let's start with Melanie. What are you thinking, Melanie?
I think it's fine.
Eileen?
No problems.
Yeah, I have I think they've done a good plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bobby Joe?
I don't have any questions. I think they're being very responsible about the development of it. I think the development of it at some point or another is kind of inevitable, and we're being presented with 2 people that have a fair plan. not something that's, and not somebody trying to come in and pull something else. So in terms of future development, I'd be afraid of what comes next for that property than necessarily what they're proposing. So that's just how I feel.
I agree. I think it's a tremendous amount of open space and wildlife conservation, very responsibly done, and
It's not a greedy project.
no, not at all. Stephen, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. I think going for the less amount of lots and having the open space is a benefit. It also benefits the folks on Ridgedale on the other side. Those lots on the proposed open space could have been, more traffic in their backyard. So I think it benefits them as well. And it takes the wetlands into account as well. So I think it's a responsible plan.
Okay, with that said, who would like to make a motion? We're looking for three variances, and then you cite the three variances, which are on the corner of the map, and then the hardship, which is on the bottom of the application. I agree with that hardship language. So that would be good hardship to read into the record. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
If I can pull it up, I'll make a motion, but just give me, if I can, it wasn't letting me pull up the documents before, so hold on.
that's why I print out hard copies of everything before the meetings. There's no way I could find this stuff on the computer for a
Just
meeting.
throw mine away. Hold on. Nancy, are you messaging me?
Am I what?
Somebody's, okay. I'll make a motion. I have to read each of the three variances, correct?
Yeah, start with the address, and then the three variances, and then the hardship.
Okay. We don't need to approve each one individually, correct? We can do it in one motion?
One motion.
One
Yeah,
motion, okay. So I make a motion to approve the variances put in place for 29 Benedict Road, Bethel. Variance 1 required to section 3.2. There's a number missing. Is that a 2? 3.2.c.
3.2C.
Right, of the Bethel zoning regulations to permit rear lots in an R20 zone by special permit. Also, second variance required to section 3.2.c.a of the Bethel zoning regulations lot.
We will do the technical
Yeah,
corrections.
We'll
Bob, with this.
we'll clean up the specifics, but that one's missing a 2, but that's okay.
Lot area 3 from 40,000 square feet to 21,679 square feet. And then a third variance required to section 3.2.c.e of the Bethel zoning regulations. Lot area to allow access ways located between any two other lots not complying with the minimum lot frontage requirement. And they're claiming the hardship of unusable space due to wetland constraints.
Okay, wetlands, topography of the rear site. And that they've gone out of their way to preserve wetlands and open space. I would add those things.
Okay.
As
You want me to add it, or can you added it?
Yeah, it's all, they'll clean it up when they write
I
it.
got it.
Okay.
All right, so Bobby Joe has made the motion. Who would like to second?
A second.
Okay, Stephen has seconded. We'll do a roll.
Can I just ask for a clarification on that? You're talking about the constraints being the wetlands, the wetlands and the constraints.
The hardship was the hardship that they put on the application.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay.
And I just want to point out those missing numbers are on the application itself.
We got that.
And we have that,
today.
so.
Okay, that's not correct. We squared it away today.
Okay.
Very good. So Bobby Joe has made the motion and Stephen has seconded. We're going to do a roll call vote. A vote yes or no. Yes would be approved. No would mean not approved. So Melanie,
Yes.
Eileen,
Yes.
Bobby Joe,
Yes.
Stephen,
Yes.
and I myself am a yes. So it's a unanimous approval for the variance. So congratulations, Mr. Olson and Codfish DeMarco LLC. Good luck with your project.
Thank you for unmuting me so I can say thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out tonight.
Good night.
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 Right.
Are we done?
No, we have a business meeting,
Yeah, now we
regular
have-
meeting minutes.
Thing I
A few, business things to take care of. So let me get back to my agenda.
Just minutes, no invoices.
Okay. So
And
there's no
I
business
know-
for next month?
No new business. And I noted that Melanie had made some corrections. So the minutes noted with corrections.
Okay, I saw that. Nice catch, Melanie. All right, so first thing, if there's no new business, I propose we cancel our June meeting. Would anyone have any issues with that?
No.
No.
Melanie? Eileen?
Fine.
No.
No, no issues.
Beth, is there any logistical concerns if we do that?
It'd be one less meeting for me, so I'm all in favor of it.
All right, so someone make a motion and we cancel our June meeting due to no business.
I make a motion to cancel June meeting due to no new business.
Okay, and someone second it, please?
Second.
Stephen has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. And so the last item on the agenda before we adjourn is the minutes from our April 21st meeting. And I went through them. Melanie caught some mistakes. I think they look pretty good now. Did everyone get a chance to look them over? And we'll take a motion on approving our minutes from April. But you really should have been here if you're going to make a motion.
I'm going to sustain because I wasn't in.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes, meeting minutes from April 21st, 2020.
And seconded by
I'll second.
Melanie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So that has passed. All right. I think we're done for tonight unless I'm missing something. Does anybody have anything?
Nope.
All right, so we'll meet again in July. Everyone stay safe. And if we can get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So makes a motion to adjourn and who seconded?
Second. I did.
Stephen seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries unanimously as well. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, good night, all.
Stay
Aye.
safe.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Night. Okay.